blood of Christ. This part of the Eucharistic prayer is called the consecration. Then the priest invites you to proclaim a great mystery of faith. We all pray, Christ has died, Christ is risen, Christ will come again. This response of faith is called the memorial acclamation. This we believe. The Eucharist remembers the sacrifice of Jesus and makes it present. Do you guys want to do the activity on your own, or do you want to talk about it?
On our own?
Yeah. Raise your hands if you want to do it on your own. Raise your hands if you want to do it together. Remembering, Jesus did not have photos to look at, but he did know how important it is to remember. Every year, Jesus celebrated a special meal with his friends. At the meal, they remember how God saved the Jewish people from slavery and gave them a new life. On the night before he died, Jesus and his apostles ate this meal of remembering. Jesus knew he would soon die, for this meal was his Last Supper. At the Last Supper, Jesus took bread and blessed it. He broke it and gave it to his disciples. He said, "This is my body, which will be given up for you. Do this in memory of me." He took the cup and said, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood, which will be shed for you," based on Luke chapter 22, verse 19 through 20. Jesus asks us to remember. At Mass, it is Christ himself, acting through the priest, that offers the Eucharistic sacrifice. When we remember the death and resurrection of Jesus, we know that he is with us. A sacrifice of praise. At the Last Supper, Jesus spoke about the sacrifice he would make. A sacrifice is a gift to God. Jesus offered himself to God, the Father, by suffering and dying on the cross. He offered to his Father an act of praise by doing his will. At the Mass, we give thanks for the sacrifice of Jesus. We also bring our own lives, our prayers, and our work to God the Father. The Eucharist is both a meal of remembering and a meal of sacrifice. The Eucharist is offered to make up for the sins of the living and the dead and to receive spiritual blessings from God. During the Eucharistic prayer, the priest uses the words of Jesus at the Last Supper. The priest takes the bread and says, "This is my body," and then takes the cup of wine and says, "This is my blood."